but I don't think they really get the full debt that they owe to one another in their life and in their creative work. I mean, Tolkien could never have finished Lord of the Rings without Lewis. I'm convinced. Um, and much like their friendship is fascinating because much like Galadriel gives the Fellowship the sort of perfect gift they need to complete their journey, Lewis and Tolkien did that to each other. For Lewis, Tolkien gave him like the way to read the story of the world correctly because he was this atheist. He was this sort of cynical person who came out of World War One, like many veterans, looking for a way to not hate the things that he loved. But Tolkien gave him a way to put Norse mythology, fairy stories, and the stuff that made his heart come alive into a context that was valid. And really, Lewis could never have written his entire body of work without Tolkien's. He didn't do it all, but he was certainly the key that unlocked the door for him. And then for Tolkien, Lewis gave him just sheer encouragement, like because Tolkien was such a perfectionist, he was so haunted with his own inadequacies, his desire to revise, and Lewis just simply was like a guy who read it and was like, "Bro, this is awesome." And there were several moments where Tolkien got stuck, as he did often, and would kind of abandon the manuscript over the 17 years it took to write Lord of the Rings. And Lewis, there are several moments in letters where Tolkien talks about Lewis sort of helping him unlock a story problem. I don't think Lewis ever gave him actually any ideas. I just think he allowed him a space and like a resonator to just help him figure out what to do next. So they both really needed each other in their own journeys. And people, I mean, that's one thing that's beautiful. Their friendship is beautiful, but it is also tragic too, because they had this falling out. They had this, as often happens in the Shadowlands, there are things that come between us and break our fellowship. And so they did have these moments of strife and of misunderstanding and loss. And in some ways, it makes a more interesting story. It's tragic, but it's also beautiful too. I got to give them a chance at the end of the story to work on that. But yeah, to me, it's such a lovely tale because of how real it is. It's not a fairy tale. Um, and the beauty about their story is that I think they needed each other to make their best work, but also they were so indebted to the fellowship around them. So the whole book is about fellowship of one kind or another.